to Cookin Wit Geno. Welcome to my home. Come on in.
This is the very first episode of Cookin Wit Geno. I want to start with one of my favorite meals to cook for someone special. This one's a little time consuming because you gotta wait. But good things come to those who wait. So come on, take this journey with me. On tonight's menu, we're gonna do a New York strip steak, perfectly seared after an overnight dry brine, crispy Parmesan smashed baby potatoes, steamed broccoli, a chimichurri sauce, macerated berries, and whipped cream. Full ingredient list in the captions, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's get to work. Cooking is mostly 75% prep, so let's get to it. Most dishes that we're gonna do won't take this long. This dinner is made for special occasions like anniversary or Valentine's Day. Cooking, it's like being in a relationship. You gotta be present, put your best self into it. Just like being in the kitchen. Be ready to get your hands dirty and feel what you're doing before you rub it down and sprinkle with a little bit of love, huh? An overnight dry brine is when you pat the meat dry and salt it immediately when bringing it home from the butcher or the grocery store. You let it sit uncovered in the refrigerator overnight, and this not only seasons the steak, but the meat is deeply tenderized. It also dries the surface of the steak to give it a superior cut. When we salt a thick cut of meat like this, we gotta use a lot of salt. You wanna make it look like a snowfall. You're gonna think it's too much, but it's not. What we need to do here is establish a little bit of trust. You'll thank me tomorrow. Now we're gonna do both sides of the steak. What I got is this little tray here. What this does is it leaves us with virtually no mess. When you're living in a small apartment, the less you gotta clean, the better off you're gonna be. You could even take it a step further and go over to the sink and salt it over there and just wash it down the drain. Now, we're gonna put the steak on the bottom rack of the refrigerator uncovered, and then we'll come back and deal with it tomorrow when we're ready to cook. Oh, would you look at that? I already got one brined. Look at how beautiful this is. Come here, get a close-up, huh? Notice the texture and how it's changed after I salted it. Yeah, I know it looks a little old, but it's not, I tell you what. This is the salt changing the texture and the structure of the meat. You're gonna get a perfectly delicious sear, and this steak is seasoned deep inside. You gotta make sure that you use your hands. Touch it. Feel how the structure has changed. Salt is amazing. Now the salt that I'm using today is Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. And when you taste it, it's about half of the salinity of regular salt. Also, it's nice and fluffy. Look how it just rolls off my fingers. A $12 box is going to take your cooking game a whole level up. You can taste the difference. Go ahead and get yourself a box and taste it for yourself. The next thing we're going to do is set a timer for an hour and let the steak rest on the counter. An important note, if it's cold outside and the internal temperature of your home is not above 70 degrees, then you may have to wait maybe 30 minutes longer. Oh, sounds like my coffee's ready. I'll be right back. A kitchen timer and thermometer are some of the most important tools in the kitchen. Unless you're an experienced cook, multitasking can be very difficult. Knowing precisely when things are finished cooking and what their internal temperatures are one of the most important things in regarding to food safety and ultimately delicious food. Alright, while the steak is resting, let's make a chimichurri. Chimichurri is a traditional condiment with roots in Uruguay and Argentina. It's also used in Brazilian steakhouses and it's meant to be called a loose condiment because it's not processed in a food processor. Sure, it's quicker and easy to throw everything into a big blade and let it chop up, but man, look, We're talking about putting love into this. Unless you put your hands on it, you really can't put the love in it. Now, what I'm gonna do is take our herbs and put them in a nice big tight bundle. As tight as you possibly can. It's okay to scrunch it up a little bit. When we cut this, we want to make sure that we move our fingers out the way and that we hold the knife firm and steady, not by the handle, but right here at the heel, like this. This way you have total control over the knife. Move your fingers back and forth like this, okay? And then slowly chop the herbs in a nice fluffy pile. Always make sure that your knife is sharp. For the chimichurri sauce, we will need 1 bunch of flat leaf parsley, 1 tablespoon of fresh chopped oregano, or 3/4 tablespoon dried, fresh red chilies, or dried chilies as a substitute, or hot pickled chilies in a pinch. I used all. 6 cloves minced garlic. Reserve about 2 cloves of garlic for the broccoli dish. 1 teaspoon salt and a ½ teaspoon of pepper. 2 to 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Cover it with olive oil. Mix everything together and set aside. Next, let's start on dessert. This is real easy. Just make sure that you wash these strawberries a little bit with some vinegar to get some of the particulates off. We're going to cut the berries up into little quarters or whatever. You could do these little horizontal bar cuts. Just do whatever you want. Leave them whole if you're lazy. But once the berries are cut up, you're going to take a nice heaping spoonful of sugar and mix it in real good with it. Put it in the refrigerator for later on, huh? Come on. Alright, to do the whipped cream, we're going to do about ½ cup or so of heavy whipping cream. I like to use these little bar tins here. You can pick them up for $3 at the restaurant supply store. I get a lot of stuff at the restaurant supply store. It's industrial, it's cheap, and you don't have to be a part of a restaurant in order to order from it. They're in every city that's got restaurants. You can get all kinds of marinated containers and everything. I get my gloves for like $4 a box. So back to the whipped cream. If you got some vanilla, go ahead and add a splash of that. And with vanilla, a little goes a long way. Trust me. You can add sugar if you want to, a couple tablespoons, or honey. But my personal favorite is maple syrup. Just give it 1 big glug. Now, if I was 20 years younger, I'd have a couple nice big bowls, one full of ice, the other one on top of that, a big old crazy whisk, and use these forearms, you know, all that strength to whip that cream. But that's not what we're gonna do today because we got technology. I got this stick blender with a whisk attachment. Now, we can blend that whipped cream in about 15 to 20 seconds. You can pick one of these up super cheap. And it's another thing that levels up your game. Who doesn't want to make whipped cream on demand? Never know what kind of skill that could be used for, huh? Come on. Alright, let's make this whipped cream. Come here. Let's prep the broccoli. Properly wash the broccoli by flipping it upside down in a bowl of water with a little tinge of vinegar. Pop it up and down like this. Just gotta give it a little bada bing. Now, you want to just kind of let it sit there for a few minutes in the solution. And this way it gets away any kind of insects or anything that are in there. It'll get it all out. Anything alive is going to die in there. Huh? Come on. Now when it's done, you want to take it, shake it off real good. I'm going to go straight to the cutting board, alright? Now, to minimize the mess that broccoli can create, instead of cutting through the flour of the head, what I want you to do is go through the stock instead. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm saying. We'll go in here like this, alright? Come here. Come here. Look. Watch this no mess, right? There's nothing here. We're going right in here through the stock like this. Right? No mess. I can go like this. You want to cut into little tiny pieces, you know, because you're old and your teeth don't work? Come here. Look at this. Look how tiny we can get these pieces. You don't have to. You can make them look pretty if you want to. But look, no flowers anywhere, okay? That's how we do it. Clean as you go and there'll be no mess show. I swear, that's what I'm doing. Oh, look at the sink. We've been cooking all day. There's nothing in there. Alright, so the last thing you want to do after prepping and enjoying this meal with your special someone is to do dishes in the sink, you know? Hopefully the dishes can wait until morning, if you know what I'm talking about, huh? Okay? Come on. Now, we're going to preheat the oven to 235. We're going to grab our steak, and we're going to insert this probe. Set the thermometer to 118 degrees, and when the oven is ready, we'll put in the steak. Now that our potatoes are fork tender, let's drain them and let them cool for a second. And then we'll take them over to the cutting board. We're going to use the bottom of this cup to literally smash the potatoes. It's best to use something with a completely flat bottom, but you can use whatever you can. If you don't have anything with a flat bottom, you can also use a wooden spoon to smack them, because they've been naughty. We're going to get one of our trays and line it with parchment paper. We're going to put a little Parmesan cheese on it first. We're going to make them about the size of the smashed potatoes, because we're going to put the potato on the top of the Parmesan. So let's smash that, huh? Come here. Now we're going to make as many Parmesan circles as we have potatoes. Then when we're done, we're going to take our chimichurri. We're going to brush it on the top. And just keep going until you're done. What the smashing does, creates some cracks and crevices to get nice and crispy. And then the Parmesan is going to melt to a little medallion on the bottom. And you're going to have a cheesy little smashed potato. Now you can take some of these potatoes in the morning time, just leave them as is. Chop them up in your tacos with some eggs. We love leftovers around here. This one's a little. Thing about cooking is nothing is ever perfect. Yeah, we're going to take our steak and we're going to go in the oven. Now we're going to go ahead and finish up the steak. Let's get our pan on the stove, and we want to get it screaming hot. So let's put this puppy on high and let that pan kind of just do its thing. Fats like butter and olive oil, they got a very low smoke point. So it's not good to use those oils with such a hot pan, because they're going to give it off flavor. Avocado oil has a very high smoke point, and it's wonderful to use. So is grapeseed oil. But my personal favorite to sear steaks in is ghee. Ghee is basically clarified butter, but historically, it's also a sacred substance used in Indian rituals. Just wonderful depth of flavor to put that superior crust that we were talking about earlier. We're just gonna add a nice spoonful of ghee to our hot pan, and then we're gonna sear that steak. We're gonna get our steak. Your natural instinct is going to be to pick it up and flip it over and mess with it, but we're just gonna let it be. Just let that magic happen from the clarified butter and that dry brine. We can flip it maybe every 30 seconds or so to get that even cooking. Ah, that smells amazing. Once the steak is seared on both sides, we need to let that rest again until everything is done. We'll slice it last. Oh! There's the timer for the potatoes. Just enough time for us to take them out the oven and finish up the broccoli. Let me get that. We take our broccoli, we put it on high. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not even Italian, but hey, you know what? We already talked about that. Come on. Check and see if our broccoli is done. Easily moves through. Not too easy, just the way I like it. We're gonna pull this off. Turn the heat off over here. Come straight over here to the strainer. I want to strain off all the excess water. I'm gonna come right back over here and watch this over here. Sorry, we got a little X in it. Here we go. Got my broccoli over here. Steamed off. Beautiful. Love it. All right, let's go back to the pan. I'm gonna grab our butter and our garlic. You notice we don't have any heat on. I'm gonna pour it right on the top there. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Put the lid on. All right, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna finish this off. Little salt, little pepper. I got a special salt jar over here. I like it's the Malden's big, chunky, flaky salt. You put this on top of a cookie if you want, or steak. Now it's time to plate. Let's get excited about that, huh?
If you ever need to get some, baby, look no further than me. Yeah, ooh, if you want love and affection, then wrapped up in my arms, you ought to be. Ought to be. Ought to be.
It can be quite a challenge to navigate through the modern world being a man of today. But know this, cooking is life. Learn to nourish your body and cook from your soul. The act of cooking is a transfer of energy to anyone who eats it. So cook how you aim to live your life, with love and intent. And until next time, if you ever need to get some, look no further than me. Yeah, ooh, huh. And that's all you get today, just a taste. Stay cooking with Geno. Hey!
Yeah.